Hello and welcome to this demonstration that will show the steps to install the CSC Mux Cloud Security Multiplex on high availability using availability zones. It's very easy, it's only a few steps. The first one is to create the VPN credential on the Zscaler console for the tunnels. That is very easy to do. The second is to have an internal and external subnet ready where to place the connectors. The connector is a firewall, then that's the reason why it requires an external internal subnet and will isolate the external traffic from your internal subnets. Then it's absolutely firewall. Also, during the deployment, we are going to create the security groups. Then there is more security on the external side. Then you can expose without problems to the internet. The next step is to launch the connector via the marketplace or template. We will show the two options. Some people want to do from the marketplace, doing the clicking on the marketplace. Other people prefer to use the templates to do some automation with internal systems. Then both options are available. Finally, when the connectors are deployed, we are going to run the initial wizard, that is to input the credentials, VPN, and to select the nodes. Next step is to configure high availability for routed traffic. The connector has the capacity to manage multiple routing tables and to decide what is the next hop to internet. Then if the connector MUX A or B. Then this task is done automatically for high availability purpose. If one connector is shutting down, the other one will change all routes to select the next hop via its own gateway. And finally, it's optional, but everyone is using this. When you have this high availability for VDI traffic or any machine that support pack file, the best is to create a pack file. We will show how to do it. Then you will be able to use both connectors at the same time, and then you can reach up to 4 gig for web traffic. It's very easy to do. Then we are going to do all these steps. Let's move on. Number one, create the VPN credentials on the Zscaler console. This is my portal. I've already created the credentials, but for people who is new with this, you need to go to credentials, full qualified domain name, put the user ID and pre-share key. And I have already created my credentials here. This is my credentials, CSC Mux A, blah, blah, blah. And this is the location I'm using. Second, create a location and associate the credentials. This is easy step, just create here and on VPN credentials, select the credentials. Let me show you my location already created. Okay, this is the name of the location, here the VPN credentials, and also I have my values here of authentication, server rate, SSL inspection, firewall on the location. Then it's very easy. Step 1, done. Step 2, choose an external internal subnet to place the connectors. Then I have this VNet here. This is my VNet name, and I have an external subnet and internal subnet for the connectors. Number 3, use the marketplace to launch the connector or template. In both cases, it's very easy. This is from the marketplace. If you go to the marketplace, the type Zscaler Internet Access or Mediahead Bridge, you will get all the products we have available. That we have the MUX for zones or using availability zones or availability sets, or the standalone product. Then let's use this for deployment. But if you want to deploy using templates, please come to our website, support website, and go to support.maidenheadbridge.com. Here you have the Cloud Security Connector Multiplex for Azure Cloud, and here you have the template. The templates are very easy to deploy. Here is the instructions. You need to deploy a custom template and upload the file. The file are here for 1 gig or 2 gig. Then it's very easy. Let me do a quick demonstration what template. If you go to your portal, Azure portal, and type template, use custom templates, build your own load the file and select the file. This is the file, and save. And now you can select the resource groups, where to place the connectors, and here you have availability zone. You can select which availability zone you want to use, and how many connectors you want to deploy, and the values of external and internal subnet. Then it's very easy to do via templates as well. Then I will go via the marketplace. I will select the 2 gig model, and this will redirect me to the portal. Now I'm the portal. Here's my to select. I will create. Then my resource group. This is in US. My region is the where place the connector is this. The amount of connectors you want to deploy is 1. Note that you need to run this twice. You can deploy more than 1 connector at the same time, but please be careful because it's per zone, right? And we'll deploy one in zone 1 and another in zone 2. For the name of the connector, the name will be, I will put, let me put a different name here. I will select HA zone 1, and the other will be zone 2 or zone 3. Okay, let's put some 2 there. Here the name of the connector in zone 1. Then I will change this name and the password. I have the password, one password created here. Copy, paste, next. The next is to select the virtual machine size. The version, the 1 gig is 2 CPUs with accelerated networking. The 2 gig is 4 CPUs with accelerated networking. Then this case is 4 CPUs and the storage. I will select my external internal interface. Internal and internal. And next. This is review and create and run the file validation. And create. Now it's going to create all resources here. Everything is automatically. You don't need to be worried about security groups, some assignations, public IPs, storage, VMs. Everything is automatically. Then I will leave this and I will back here to my portal. I will put ZIA again, and I will deploy for the second one, for the second zone. Then again, I will use this resource group here. I will place in my location in East US. The CSC count is 1. The zone is 2 now. And the zone 2 name, be careful to put different names, if not, will fail. The zone 2 and my password. And I will create my password here and here. Next. Select the virtual machine size. There's 4 CPUs. Next. And now select external internal interface. External and internal interface. Next. And create. This is going to start the deployment. Okay, in this case, my number 1 is deployment is complete. Let's wait a little bit to this to be completed. Now it's created virtual machines and all the public IP, security groups, everything we need. Okay. Meanwhile, the connector number in zone 2 is created. I will go to the resource group here, and I can see that my connector in zone 1 was already created. Okay, if you check availability zone is in zone 1. Okay, then my next task after the creation of the connector is to, let's take a look here, is to run the initial wizard on the connector. Then this is something I'm going to do. And I have a machine behind the connector. The connector is a firewall that you cannot get access from outside. You need to have a bastion host or something inside to SSH from here. Then I have this machine here. At the moment, this machine is connected to the internet directly and is managed by the routing table, this route table, and is using this route. That the next hop is this value. Okay, then this is the environment. Now let's go to the machine on the back and let's SSH first time the connector to do the initial wizard. The first I need to check on the connector is go to networking, Ethernet 1, that is the internal interface, and get the value of the IP. This is the IP you need to SSH. Then I'm going to SSH this IP. Sure, I did before. Okay, yeah. Let me delete this host. And the SSH, the connector, and the password that we created here. With the password created here. And paste. Okay, this is the initial wizard, and the initial wizard is telling you, please create the VPN credentials and location first. We did it, and then run the wizard. And the wizard is very easy. The only that we need to do is, are you ready to continue? Yes. Do you want to change the values of cloud and primary? No, yeah, there is nothing here. Then the first one, we're going to put my cloud name, that's Zscaler 3. I will select manually my nodes, and I will put the first one, Washington, and the second one, New York. Pre-share keys, yes. Let's put the VPN credentials here. And then this is the VPN credentials in this case are the same for both. You can use the same for all channels. This you don't need to do anything special. And this is the and oops, I think I left a space here. Copy and paste. Okay, that looks good. DNS, you can put your own DNS or to use Azure DNS. I'm going to use Azure DNS. On bypass proxy configuration, for people who is familiar with the connectors, probably you know what it is, but the connector has the ability to do bypasses to the internet. But and the easiest way to configure is to create a pack file with the bypasses. And to put the pack file in your Zscaler console and to let the connector to read the values from here. You need to respect this format. Then I already created on my Zscaler console the pack file. If I go here, I already created the pack file, is this one. This is the pack file that contains the list of domain names with wildcards that I want to send via the bypass functionality of the connector. Then I will copy this URL and I will place on the connector. This is one way to have a central repository for all bypasses then you don't need to configure one by one. Just put the URL of the let me put this again. Oh, yes. Okay. Want to refresh the list? Yes. Here I have the list. Apply the changes. Configuration sim. If you want to send the tunnel logs, you can do it. We are not going to do it here, but the connector has the capacity to send the logs to a SIM server or a syslog. Finally, configure, check the values. Now is checking that the status of the nodes are okay, the host names, and done. The connector will reboot and you will be connected after. Now let me check the status of the second connector. The deployment is complete. Then let's go back to my resource group here. Let's do a refresh. And now I have the connector number 2 here, the virtual machine. Yeah, number 2 on zone 2. This is on availability zone 2. It's running. Everything looks good. Then next step, networking, Ethernet 1, and this is the IP to SSH, the connector. And we are going to run the initial wizard here again. On this one as well. This will be faster than before. Okay. And now, yes. And the password is this one. Okay, I will say yes. Do you want to change the values? Yes. So Zscaler 3, I will select the node manually. 36 and New York 29. VPN credentials, yes, of course. I'm pretty shaky. Let's take a look. Looks good. DNS, I will use Azure. I want to change the bypass URL. Yes. You want to refresh the bypass? Yes. Apply changes? Yes. Using server? No. And apply values? Yes. Okay, it's checking the Washington node. Now it's checking New York. And finally, the CSC will reboot and we are able to check. I will pause the video 1 second. This process takes about 2 minutes. Then let me pause the video. Well, we are back now. We did the initial wizard on both connectors. Now we need to do step 5 and 6 to configure high availability and to configure the pack file for BDI in order to use both connectors at the same time. Let's go ahead with the configuration. Let me SSH the connectors again. And let's SSH the other connector as well. Okay. Well, each connector this is the menu of the connectors. There is monitoring task, admin task, bypass proxy, configuration, logs, and finally the wizards. This wizard 12 is the same that the initial wizard, and we can switch tunnels in case something is needed to do. And high availability, we are going to do this wizard. But first, we need to check the statuses. Then number 1 shows the status of the connector. Everything is tested here. You don't need to go one by one to check if the gateways are alive or the nodes are alive. Everything is done here. And what is showing us this is the information about the interfaces for high availability, we will need to set up in our default route the next hop, that is the CSC gateway IP, the first IP of the connector. Each connector has three IPs: the gateway IP, the VIP proxy, and the bypass proxy. VIP proxy and bypass proxy is for the use of pack files, and the CSC gateway IP is for the use of routing, is the gateway. Then on my routing table, we're going to change this route. This next hop will change for the next hop of the connectors. And for the pack file, I will need this information. Then let me pick up this information, and I will put here. Okay. And let me delete this all information. And let me delete this just in case I'm doing the right things. Okay. Let's continue with the explanation. The public IP information. This is not possible to retrieve because it's an availability zone, but we have the information here of all IPs. As you can see, every tunnel is coming from a different source IP. Information about which are the primary and secondary nodes, the tunnel, where we are pointing the tunnels, the load balancing statuses. In this case, we have the 8 tunnels app, and we are balancing among all of them. The IPsec to validate when the tunnel was up, and the security association. And finally, the information from ip.zscaler.com page. This is running inside each tunnel to show you which are the public IPs. As you can see, you are reaching the tunnels from different source public IPs. That this is the requirement in order to hit different Zscaler instance, like this is the Zscaler instance. And to load balance the traffic, and to get the 250 per tunnel, that 8 tunnels will allow you to reach 2 gig. Well, now we need to enable high availability. This is our next task. Then let me, the first that we need to do on high availability is if running the wizard. And on the wizard are the steps that say deploy a pair of CSCs, of course, and assign a role to the connector. This is something that I didn't do before. That's the reason of these red lines. Then I will leave, and I will assign the role on the connectors. Very easy task to do. Let's come to my resource group here. I will go to connector in zone 1, this one. I will go to identity, and I will say identity yes. And now assign a role. In my case, what I need to do is to manage these route tables that are on this resource group, and also where the machines are, this resource group. Then what I'm going to do is assignment, and I will allow to manage the resource group where the connectors are as a contributor. And also I will add that the connector is able to manage the resource group of where the route tables are as a contributor again. Right, then with this I'm allowing this connector to read the other connector on the resource group, and to read and write the routing tables on this resource group. Then let's go to the second one and do the same. Identity, turning on. There are several ways to do this, but this you need to turn this on. But the roles you can be more granular if you want. I'm going to be fast here, and I will do by resource group contributor. And now I will add another one for the routing table. Resource group. What is the route table? And contributor for this resource group. Okay, now this is done. And now I need to configure the connectors to manage these two routes. Then let's back to the connector. And this was 14. Now looks much better because I have the identity assigned. Then the first tag is to put the route name. I have the values here of the route name, but route name is this value. I will set up two routes. The route table is this value. Stop. And the resource group of the route table, let me come here, is this value. Okay. You want another route? Yes. Same process. Now is this the name? The route table is the same. And the resource group is the same. Good. No more routes. And computer name of the other CSC in the pair. That is, I need to come here and to put the route name. This is the virtual machine name, right? Computer name. And this is on which group is this one? This is the group. Let's pick up from. And now this, if I want to confirm the values. Okay, now the CSC will check the value, will check the reachability to Zscaler, and will put one active. Let me do the same because I'm going to use the same values. Let me do the same in the other one. First, it's activating the identity. Now it's good. If we want to configure, and then let's copy and paste the values here. First is this apps, route table, and belong to the resource group. Checking if the route exists. Do you want another route? Yes. And I want to add this route. That is the default. From the route table and resource group. And now it's going me to ask no more route. You can add as many routes you want. It's asking me the name of the other connector in the pair. And the resource group. Resource group where the connector is. Okay. I want to apply changes. Yes. Okay, now what happened here is on my route table, I come to routes, as you can see, the default route was this one before, and now it's the connector, the one. Then if I come here, the high availability is showing me this route to Zscaler using NetHub of this CSC, this CSC, because we did this first, right? And the other one here will show on high availability that the route is to Zscaler is using this. That is the other CSC in the pair. Okay, very easy, very easy. Any change, the connector will switch to the other. And now we have the next hub managed by the connectors on HI, right? This is the connectors. Then first, this machine now, that previously this machine was connected direct to Zscaler. If I refresh here, now I'm using Zscaler from here. Okay, this 10.1.1.4 is one of the tunnels. This tunnel. The reason of this, yes, is routed via this tunnel. Okay, very easy. Next task on this, we completed this one. Now let's create a pack file for the machines, and I'm going to test the pack file on this computer. This browser will be using only routing, and here I'm going to select the pack file. Then let's create the pack file. I will show how to do the pack file. It's very easy. Here is the pack example. This is in our website, support website, and I will add on all items. The first section of the pack file is the standards of Zscaler. The second section is where the magic happens to use both connectors at the same time. Then what I'm going to do is to read the IP address of the virtual machine, the virtual desktop, and doing this little trick here, we are going to send odd IPs, number 2, 4, 6, using primary one connector, and even IPs 1, 3, 7, 5, 7 using another connector, and the secondary proxy will be the other one. Then if in this way we are sending odd even, we are doing a load balancing between odd even IPs. Then let's do it. Let me create this pack file. Let me create Control F CSC VIP, and now I need to replace these names with the values I collected for traffic redirection. Okay, I need a traffic redirection for the second connector. Traffic redirection information here. Okay, then this is the VIP proxy of the connector 1. And going back to my pack file, I will replace. Now let's replace the VIP2. VIP2 is using the number 8. Okay, VIP2 number 8. Then coming here is the number 8. Replace both. And CSC bypass one is on traffic redirection is this one, the 6. Okay. And number 2 is the 9. Good. Now I have the pack file. This pack file, we have the URL for the pack file. This is the name of the pack file. Then let me go to my Zscaler console, hosted pack files. Let me go to this pack file and I will delete this information and I will use the information from the new pack file. Verify. Oops. Let's go back. Okay, CSC Mux. This is the my pack file. I will delete this information. I will paste the new one, verify, all good, and save. And save. Good, good, good. Now, on my machine behind this, remember this browser is with is via routing, is direct, and now we are going to apply a pack file here with this switching proxy. That I think this pack URL is correct. Yeah. Okay. Then now this browser is using a pack file. Normally, when the route is via one instance and the other is hitting another instance. Then the difference now, if I go to on this is pure routing port quiz. Let's do a quick test of the bypass functionality. If you can see on my bypasses here, I have a Okta. Normally, if you want to do conditional access or to not to ask multi-factor authentication for people on the on VDIs, the best way to do this is to send the Okta URLs, or in case of Microsoft, the login URLs via the bypass functionality. Then you will have a real public IP, not Zscaler IP, and you can apply rules. And also I added this port quiz. This port quiz page is returning my IP and port. Then I will do a quick test using port quiz .net here. And this one that is pure routing is going via Zscaler 165.225. And this one that's using pack file, if I go to port quiz, that's here, is going via my bypass proxy. Then my public IP on the cloud. Well, this is the end of the presentation. As you can see, it's very, very easy to set up this complex architecture, having high availability, deploying connectors in zones, and with the capacity to reach 4 gig for machines using pack file. Thank you very much. I hope you like it. If you have any questions, please contact us. Go to our support page here and to open a ticket and to ask your questions. Don't worry about it. In general, it's very easy. Most people don't need any help. But if you have any questions, just let us know. We're more happy to help. Thank you very much.